O Israel. The call never died. From the south, the lost sheep rise. From Mississippi soil where the history haven't changed in the land, but the promise still steady. Names got taken, truth got buried, but the word still breathing, never went missing. Lost sheep scattered, still hear the tone. Shepherd calling, saying bring them home. Not a rumor, not a myth. Ancient bloodline covered in stitch, no crown on head, no throne in sight. But kings still walk when they live upright. Priests in order, hearts in check. Walking the path of Melchizedek.
Order of Melchizedek. Hey, stand righteous, stand correct. No beginning, no end, we set. Walk in truth, no disrespect.
Order of Melchizedek.
Order of Melchizedek.
Lost sheep found, hearts reset.
Lost sheep found, hearts reset.
From Tupelo we represent.
From Tupelo we represent.
Israel rise.
Remember that.
Remember that. Not here for hate, not here for noise. Here to rebuild men, women, boys. From prison walls to broken homes. Still hear God's voice through flesh and bone. Teach the law, apply the way. Faith works, lived every day. Not traditions handed down, but ancient paths we walking now. 12 tribes breathing, still intact. Truth don't change, that's fact. Scattered, warned, and gathered again. Written long before the pen.
Order of Melchizedek. Hey, stand righteous, stand correct. No beginning, no end, we set. Walk in truth, no disrespect.
Order of Melchizedek.
Order of Melchizedek.
Lost sheep found, hearts reset.
Lost sheep found, hearts reset.
From Tupelo we represent.
In Tupelo we represent.
Israel rise.
Remember that. Remember that.
Who are we?
Israel.
What we teach.
Truth. Why we here?
Wake the lost sheep. Order, discipline, restitution, not confusion, restoration. No corner prophets, straight swing, no water down, truth or name. Study the word, live it out, let correction cast pride out. Fathers restored, mothers strong, families healed where it went wrong. Not perfect men, but hearts aligned, learning obedience one step at a time.
Order of Melchizedek.
Stand righteous,
Yeah, stand righteous.
stand correct.
Lost sheep pride, chains disconnect.
Covenant people.
Never reject. Order.
Covenant people. From the south to where you at.
From the south to where you at.
Israel, wait, don't you forget.
Israel, melt you forget.
It's the order. Mutually remember. This is remembered. This is order. This is the call.
To the hall, to the lost sheep.
Israel lives.
All right, family. You ever notice? Let me see if I got this internet right. Yesterday I was hooked to the wrong internet. Hold on. Okay. You ever notice that there's a term floating around out here, the black Hebrew Israelites? You ever notice where that? You ever wonder where that come from? But I'm gonna get into it. But first, let's get into these parallel timelines. Exodus in the time of the Messiah. Let's get into that first. All right, here we go. Let me see. Time check. Should be up and running. Yeah. All right. Okay. Exodus chapter 1. This right here is when they went in. Joseph. Side note. Joseph's own brother. Not now. One of them recognized Joseph amongst the black Hamites, Egyptians. Okay. If he was white, he'd have stood out like a sore thumb. But let me keep going. Now, verse 8, Exodus chapter 1, verse 8. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Keep that in mind. There's a certain segment of the population who saw fit to disperse themselves worldwide with minimal, minuscule numbers. Okay? All right. These are the same ones trying to indoctrinate people into relationships that does not procreate. All right. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. They didn't want the Israelites to leave. Look at it. Okay? All right. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Just think about that. You don't like a people, but you don't want them to leave. Think about that. You grieve because of their existence, but you don't want them to leave. Think about the psychology of that, but let me keep going. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor, harsh servitude. All right, but I'm almost here. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. Chattel slavery in one, building up America. And when you get done with that, we got some convict leasing, where we just went out here and grabbed Negroes and just lock them up and make them work for free. When you get done with that, we got some more stuff for you. But all right. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shipra and the name of the other Pur. And he said unto them, when ye do the office of the midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if he be a daughter, then she shall live. All right, while I'm thinking on that, let me put that right there. Let me put that right there. Boy, they trying to bury this stuff. Maybe the time fly by, but let me see here. Black babies more likely to survive when cared for by black doctors. Okay, I just want to put that article there. They all of a sudden, when it's us, they forget how to be doctors. All right, I'm just showing you a parallel to right here, Exodus. All right. If it be a son, ye shall kill him. If it be a daughter, he shall live. Okay. But the midwife feared Yah and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. All right. And the king of Egypt called for midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing and have saved the men children alive? The males. And the midwife said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered the midwife before the midwife come unto them. All right, let me scroll right to this right here. And the Most High, he dealt well with them. He spared them some punishment. Don't think if they had did what Pharaoh done that they was gonna get out unscathed. Okay, and the Most High dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because The midwife feared Yah that he made them houses. Y'all so blessed them. All right. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born, ye shall cast him into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. You know they had crocodiles. The river had crocodiles in it, right? But nevertheless, baby can't, you know. But anyway, let me move on. All right. Now let's go to Matthew 2:16. Matthew 2:16. That shouldn't be too long. Shouldn't be too long. Let me see, can y'all see that? All right. Let me see here. All right. That ain't Matthew. Okay, yeah, it is Matthew. Okay. Now, these are the wise men that came before Herod. Let me read some of this before I got to read that. 16. Yeah, let me just read down. Let me read down a little bit. And when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, Herod is an Edomite. All right, descendant of Esau. All right, the king, behold, notice they were mixing in with the Romans way back here. But y'all do just dig into Herod's background. The Greeks put him in first. All right, but let me keep going. There came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that was born king of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and we are come to worship him. And when Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Why is he troubled? Because he is not supposed to be on that throne. That's why. All right. And when he gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded where of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet. Notice this is Old Testament. They didn't have no New Testament then. Okay, this is for all you people who don't want to read the whole Bible. That's why you don't know what's going on. All right, and now Bethlehem in the land of Judah, Yahudah, art thou the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor. Let me see what governor is right here. They shall rule thy people Israel. Governor. Leader. All right. Judge. Yeah, we waiting on some justice around here. We ain't gonna get it with these Gentiles. We're gonna keep getting what we've been getting because the Bible said that's all they're gonna do. All right. Therefore, when Herod had secretly called the wise men, inquired of them diligently the time the star appeared, and he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child, that when ye have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also. Let me go here because I got to read this whole chapter. Hold on. Me to chapter. Okay. Shalom, Brenda Hill. Shalom. And then Herod, when he had secretly called the wise men, inquired them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. Notice they're looking for the child, the man child. Pharaoh was trying to kill the male children. Now it's just all out. They're trying to get whoever they can get. All right. And when they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. All right. Yeah, I'm looking for when he was killing. Okay, 16. Let me get down to 16. And when Herod saw, because the wise men did not tell Herod nothing. When they went back, they avoided Herod. Herod probably would have killed them when they went back. They'd been dumb enough to go back. All right. When he saw that he was mocked of the wise man, he was exceedingly wroth and sent forth and slew all the children. You had Pharaoh trying to kill the male children from which Moses come up. Now you got Herod trying to kill the male children from which Mashiach come forth. All right. And in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet. In Ramah, it was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and would not be comforted because they are not. Let me see what that Rachel is. All right, let me see here. Rachel, where's she at? The wife of Jacob. Okay. Okay, yeah, like wife of Jacob. Okay. But now those of you that know, the tribe of Yahudah come through Leah. Okay. Rachel's sister. But let me get on back. All right, now I just want to show you that. So you had in Exodus the Pharaoh trying to kill the children from which Moses come up. You got in Matthew and in other places in the New Testament, Herod trying to kill the Messiah. Okay, from which Yahweh shall come forth. Now let's go to Revelation. Revelation 12. All right. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her foot, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. This is the nation of Israel, who have 12 children, 12 tribes. And she being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon. You keep reading, that's Satan, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, to eat up her child as it was born. All right. You can say that this is Satan influencing Herod. All right. And she brought forth a man child. This is the Messiah, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to Yah, Book of Acts. He went up to the right-hand side and to his throne, Book of Acts. All right. Now, the nation fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared to her of Yah, and they should feed her there 1,260 days. Now, look at y'all right quick, even though you can't see me. All right, now, let's get into this. As I said earlier in the video, how many in the chat, how many of y'all know anybody that used the term Black Hebrew Israelites besides Europeans and European sympathizers? Anybody else ever heard an Israelite use the term Black Hebrew Israelite? Let's dig into it right quick. I hadn't. That's why I started doing a little background check. That's why I started doing a little background check. Okay. All right. Now notice notice who writing this stuff. All right. All right. Now think about it. You know something got to be seriously wrong when you can't even share a link to a documentary. Something got to be wrong. Some lies got to be told somewhere. Because if what we was taught is true, then why are you panicking? If what we saying is lies, then why can't you prove it? Huh? You know, my grandmama told me the truth will slow walk or lie down. You ever seen some long-legged athletes on the track just slow walk some runners down, just walk them down? That's the truth. Walking down them lies. Anyway, But anyway, I'm not gonna read this. You know, I just because I ain't gonna make this. If you want to look at that, you can just type that in. Okay, you can just type that in. This started with Kyrie Irving. Okay, all right. But let me dig into it. Now, let me go over here. I asked the question. Well, listen to it. Let me go back. All right. Now it says, let me see what it got else up there. Let me see here. Why don't they ask people instead of see what you see is a whole lot of people that don't have a clue pushing this time. That's how you know it's propaganda, what I'm trying to get at. But anyway, all right. But anyway, I think I was just on that one. Now they said extremists. Okay. Let me just do a quick in real time. Let me see here. I'm finna engage the computer right quick. I know it's gonna say yeah. Let me get the AI. Let me get the AI up in here, see what it says. I just want to see what it says. Considered. Okay. Okay, let me ask. Say ask privately. Okay. I'm just gonna ask one more question. I'm gonna get off of here. Oh, it's free speech. Okay. They saying white people got free speech, but when you use free speech, y'all can't see that on Facebook. You get your page taken down. But let me get off of this. Okay, let me get back over here. All right, they got this term. I was walking this term, Black Hebrew Israelites down. I was walking it down. Okay, it says it's a African American religious community in Israel. See how they trying to. The Bible says the Israelites are worldwide. See how they trying to narrow it down to the U.S. See that? You got Israelites in Africa, customs and everything. All right. African American religious community in Israel. Okay, you got some in Israel, which consider themselves to be descendants of a lost tribe of Israel. One thing you ain't gonna notice, what you're not gonna see is anything proving that this is a lie. I'm not talking about the black. Everybody knows that the Israelites are black. We don't do that. What you're never gonna see. You ain't gonna see them going in this Bible proving. You ain't gonna see them going in the timelines of history, going into the leaps of going logistically, proving something false. That's what you're not gonna see. That's why they're panicking, because they're lies and they're told lies, they're teaching lies. Okay, they want to tell us who we are. But let me keep going. But these are some problems: polygamy and birth control. A lot of people They're not doing it according to the Bible, no way. But let me move on. But let me see. Hold on. Let me move on. I'm looking for something. It kept pointing me. But anyway, it kept pointing me back to the origin. Okay, let me do this. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. All right, Frank Cherry and William Saunders Crowley are considered early leaders of the Black Hebrew movement, but they didn't put this term there. They didn't use that label, just like we didn't choose the label African American. You understand what I'm saying? We didn't choose the term, all these new terms, Haitians and stuff. Those are new terms. Okay? All right. But it is unclear if they specifically use the term Black Hebrew Israelites. All right. The movement began in the 1800s, and the terminology may have evolved later to describe their beliefs and followers. Okay, this is Kanye. I don't know. He don't know what he want to do. All right. But anyway, now they said the unbiblical teachings of the Black Hebrew Israelites. Okay. Is let me see here. Is what the Christians did, is that biblical? You know, what part of colonization is biblical? Find it in the Bible. What part of what the Jews are doing to the Palestinians, what part of that is biblical? Find it in the Bible. You see how they are laser focused on what we're doing? Why ain't nobody blinking or batting an eye at what they're doing and what they've done? What part of the Bible is stealing all the resources while the people in Africa is poor? What part of that in the Bible? What's biblical about what they're doing worldwide? Okay, I'm just debriefing you on the lies. And I'm not going to read this because I haven't proofread it, but I just clicked on it. But let me get back. They see, they are hinting at Frank Cherry and William Saunders Crowley. They tried to attribute that term going back to them. And I just kept asking questions. You understand? Okay, I see it. Is it recorded anywhere Frank Cherry used the term Black Hebrew Israelites? And the answer is no. If they didn't use that term, where did it come from? I submit to you CIA. I submit to you Caucasian. I submit to you racist white supremacists. I submit to you liars. All right? How you going to put something on somebody that they didn't do? Let me read some of this. Frank Cherry was a prominent figure in the early. If this term didn't exist when they lived, see, they understand white people see the word black and they go on attack. They understand that. Okay, look, we read right here. He is a prominent figure in Black Hebrew Israelite movement. That he founded the Church of the Living God. He didn't call it the Black Israelite Church. The Pillar Ground of Truth for All Nations in 1886. So he's so hell bent on the way they look at, where they frame it. We so hell bent on destroying white folks. He's so hell bent on destroying white folks that he named his church the Church of the Living God, where he preached that African Americans are the descendants of the ancient Israelites. Okay. And then while Frank Cherry is associated with the origins, how is it associated with the origins of Black Israelite? There's no direct record of him using that term either. Okay. And our brothers in these camps don't make it no better about some of the stuff they do. All right. Now let's get to J. Edgar Hoover. Now I ask another question. Has every government agency in USA discriminated against Black folk? Now, I want y'all to tell me something. Let me minimize this. Can y'all name one government agency in the U.S. snakes that has not been discriminating and trying to harm us? Can y'all name one? I can go into history and show you where the CIA was propagating drugs on the streets. It's a record of that. I can show you in history where the feds was spying on Black folk. I can show you that. So if they'll do all that, what won't they do? Show you where the president was showing the birth of a movie supporting the Klan in the White House. Come, Book of Exodus. Let us deal wisely with them. See, they get together in some rooms, some backboard room, and they call them think tanks. Figure out how they're going to manipulate us, how they're going to undermine us, how they're going to eliminate us. History bears to it. Okay? Then you got these sellout preachers that was working with Margaret Sanger to preach to kill your baby. See, in the book of Exodus, let me do this. In the book of Exodus, let me go back to Exodus. Let me see, it should be about 3 clicks back. Let me just do it. Exodus chapter 1. Can y'all see that? Let me see if y'all see that. No, y'all can't see that. Let me add this. All right. Book of Exodus, Pharaoh told the midwives, and the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives to kill the children. Now we got sellout men and women, but mostly men. Ain't preaching the Bible. Telling our people it's okay to do away with the baby that the Most High created. Okay? Let me move on. I can't name not one government agency that has not discriminated against Black folk. Not one. If you can name one, drop it in the comment. Name one government agency that has not been trying to do us in. Name just one. Let me give you some of this. While not every individual employee has this, let me see here, has historically, the vast majority of U.S. departments and agencies have enacted, enforced, and perpetuated policies that discriminate against Black Americans, systematic inequalities. But we supposed to stop looking at this. And let's get to worrying about these illegals that broke the law to get here. Stop worrying about this now. We've been dealing with this since we've been here. Let's worry about the LGBT. They got to have rights, don't you know? Stop worrying about this and fight something else. See, these preachers is not preaching the Bible. All right? Entrenched systematic inequalities were entrenched through federal housing. That's reparation right there. All this stuff they doing, that's reparation alone. Agriculture, criminal justice policies, while many explicitly segregationist laws were abolished in the 60s. they're still here, family. Disparities. Let me give you an example how you know segregation is here. They look at your name and they know not to hire you. Why you got to put what color you is on a piece of paper? If everybody's the same, why you got to stipulate what color your skin? What that got to do with your job? They're not giving an IQ test. What color is you on this application? Okay, housing and finances. These folks will give illegals business loans and finances. All right, agriculture. Black farmers can't get the white farmers been getting handouts for years. Black farmers can't. All this stuff is documented. All right, that's just some of it. If you want to know more, that is right there. All right, you type that in, pause it, type it in. Has every government agency in USA discriminated against black folk? But let me move on. I'll be here a long time going through all that. Now, did J. Edgar Hoover say there will never be another black Messiah unless we create him? Let's see here. It says he did not use the exact phrase, there will never be another black Messiah unless we create him. However, in a 1968 memorandum, Hoover expressed the need to prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify militant black nationalist movement. We just want to be free. One of these black folks gonna realize, in order for there to be liberty and restoration, whatever we was free to do before these folks came and kidnapped and started human trafficking us, we should be able to do those things right now if we was free. We shouldn't have to go to them and worry about their laws and their people at all. It should be a choice. Come, let us deal wisely with them. Let me see. Come on, let us deal wisely with them. See, all this time, black folks talking about we free where? Free how? You just got a invisible shock collar on you. When you get out of range, that collar gonna shock you into reality. Some call it the Negro wake-up call. You got an invisible collar on, and they got the control. All right? Let me move on. Let me see here. Now, it's saying he made a statement reflecting the fear of a black Messiah. Why the term black Messiah? Why not leader? Then you got to go back to the book of Exodus. See, Pharaoh was worried about the male children. Then you got to go to the New Testament, Messiah. Herod was worried about a male leader. Huh? The Messiah. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. And then there's also books that's not in the Bible where Nimrod tried to kill Abraham when he was a baby. You can research that yourself. Nimrod tried to kill Abraham when he was a child, put him in the fiery furnace. Okay. I think it's in the book of Jasher, I believe. No, Jubilees. But all right. You leave you to something to research on your own and find out. All right, family. That's it. That's all. Shalom.